We've had young presidents, old president, a black president, a celebrity president, but what about a YouTuber president?
Did not have sexual relations with this man.
I know this might sound crazy, but what if MrBeast was president?
I think it'd be fun, but we'll see. I think I could win.
The year is 2036, Jimmy is 38 and eligible to run for president, so how will he campaign? By now he's probably the first YouTuber billionaire and doesn't need to rely on people's money. At this point, Jimmy has infiltrated the minds of so many young people that grew up watching his videos, so when they hear he's running for president, it brings back the good old times. They remember when he first gave a homeless man $10,000. They remember when he bought a car using only pennies. They remember when he spent $30,000 on lottery tickets, $50,000 on lottery tickets, $1 million on lottery tickets. They remember when he buried himself alive. They remember when he recreated Squid Games. So the choice is obvious. But what about the people that don't know him? All it takes is one Google search and suddenly there are hundreds of pages about him, thousands of articles about MrBeast this, MrBeast that. And if people just see him as an entertaining figure, they're missing the point. Once they begin to unravel what MrBeast has done, what MrBeast plans to do, they'll realize why he's fit to be president. With so much influence, Jimmy has remained grounded and never let it go to his head. He put his entire livelihood into building up the MrBeast brand and won't do anything to sacrifice his reputation. He's helped plant 20 million trees, helped remove 30 million pounds of trash from the ocean, and given millions of dollars away. Jimmy has done so much more than anyone thought possible in his short years of life. But he doesn't have anything special. He's just an average Joe, just like you and me. So what makes him qualified to be president? His burning desire. Once Jimmy puts his mind to something, there's no stopping him, and the sky's the limit. Or in this case, Joe Biden. Assuming Jimmy gets to the debates, it's time to answer hard questions about politics and plans if he wins. Normally this is when candidates lie or stretch the truth to please voters. I mean, it is politics, so everyone lies, right? They overpromise and underdeliver. But based on Jimmy's past, I think it's fair to assume that when he says something, he'll do it. And also, could you imagine the type of YouTube videos he'd make out of this? I ran for president and won. I survived 4 years in the White House. I gave my country free healthcare, and according to this article, great presidents, besides being stubborn and disagreeable, are more extroverted, open to experience, assertive, achievement-striving, excitement-seeking, and more open to fantasy, aesthetics, feelings, actions, ideas, and values. And I think we can all agree that Jimmy is stubborn. The man literally spent his entire childhood obsessing over one thing: YouTube. Jimmy Donaldson's story started on February 19, 2012 on YouTube as MrBeast 6000, and like any 13-year-old at the time, he started with posting Minecraft videos that no one watched. Fast forward a decade and Jimmy managed to build up a massive empire and even turned down a $1 billion deal for his YouTube channel and associated companies. He's the definition of stubborn, but I wouldn't say he's disagreeable. In fact, quite the opposite. People love him, and he's even had thousands of fans lined up just to eat at his MrBeast burger. Jimmy's mentioned being a self-described introvert. That's fine. I'd argue that he's open to experience. His obsession with YouTube allowed him to do so many things that people could only fantasize of. From taking a trip to Antarctica, to going to a $1 million hotel, to getting hunted by the FBI, to buying a private island, and so much more. And the only way of being able to do all this was through his assertiveness. Jimmy's a rare individual. On the outside, he may look like an average Joe, but there is so much more to him. He's made goals over the years and achieved more than he thought possible. Jimmy may not be open to aesthetics, but he has demonstrated time and time again that he genuinely wants to help people. He's not someone who just sits around and does nothing, but he takes action. Jimmy has come up with so many crazy ideas that were never done. He even unintentionally started a movement, and this has gained so many loyal followers, subscribers. So much so that people take his methodology to heart and end up just copying him. But they do say imitation is the sincerest form of flattery. More importantly, Jimmy instilled values in so many young people now wanting to give money just for the sakes of helping. He made it cool and is probably one of the first people to make money by giving money away. So 10 out of 13 characteristics, 77%, not bad.
Actually do whatever's good for people and not have political agendas. Genuinely just do whatever the
Please.
This begs the question, what are some major problems in the United States that can be fixed to have the most positive impact? We can start by looking at other countries. For 5 years in a row, Finland has ranked #1 as the happiest country in the world according to the World Happiness Report, while the US falls at number 17. 3 things that Finns avoid are comparing to other people, overlooking the benefits of nature, and breaking community trust. This has to do more with how Finns are as a people versus fixing problems. So when we look at the goals and principles of Finland's development policy, we can start to paint a picture of what the US can also aim to do. The article talks about education, mainly the quality of it, and I think the US has done a good job with being more inclusive with persons with disabilities and gender equality, but there's much more improvement to be made. As of 2017, high school graduation in the United States was at 83%, while Finland's graduation is at 99%. But we also have to consider that race also plays a huge factor. Black and Hispanic youth are more likely than non-Hispanic white or Asian youth to have dropped out of high school, and this could be due to the fact that these racial groups are more likely to be affected by poverty or systemic incarceration. So, how do we fix poverty? We can start with education, and there are several differences in the Finnish education system when compared to the US. For starters, schools start much later, at 7 years old. Finland also uses a holistic teaching approach where there's no standardized testing, and becoming a teacher in Finland is also much more strict and praised. After finishing school, the kids come out to be more well-rounded individuals, and for those that want to continue higher education, university is free. Jimmy can make education great. Since 1980, the US spent the most on healthcare based on GDP, yet ranked much lower compared to other countries who spent way less. Looking at Norway, they have universal health coverage, and the services covered include primary, ambulatory, mental health, and hospital care, as well as select outpatient prescription drugs. So we can learn a thing or two from them. Jimmy can make healthcare accessible to everyone. From 2017 to 2020, US obesity prevalence was 41.9%. And the main culprit for this is food. Your American diet just doesn't work and has to be changed. This diet is characterized by high sugar consumption and the replacement of whole grains, lean meats, and natural, healthy fats with low nutrient refined flours and highly processed meats and vegetable oils. Jimmy can improve nutrition. There's so many more things that can be done and policies to be put in place, but we have to start somewhere. If we improve education, then everyone has more opportunity to grow and prosper. Societies with high rates of education completion have lower crime, better overall health, and civic involvement. Maybe then systemic incarceration can be decreased. Once healthcare is accessible to everyone, we don't have to worry about if we'll go bankrupt from going to the hospital. Once nutrition is improved, we won't have to worry about risking one's mental and physical health. And of course, these are big issues, so I'm hopeful Jimmy will address them. But what about a world impact?
Part of our mission to make the world a better place, we will be supporting orphanages all around the world.
Since October 2020, Jimmy officially launched Beast Philanthropy with a goal to help as many people as possible, and 100% of the profits from ad revenue, merch sales, and sponsorships will go towards making the world a better place. He's leveraging his massive influence to help raise money to hopefully one day end hunger, homelessness, and unemployment. He's helped feed thousands of people. He's built wells in Africa. He's given school supplies to the poorest schools in America. He's rebuilt homes for tornado survivors. He's building an orphanage in Africa. Jimmy proved that one person can make a difference, and imagine what he can do if he's in a position of power. Is it possible for Jimmy to be president? We'll just have to wait and see. But one thing's for sure, the world is lucky to have someone like Jimmy.